What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most unnecessary live-action remakes and reimaginings of beloved animated movies.
It's the same color blind, and it moves us all.
Number 10. How to Train Your Dragon. It's not that the trailer doesn't look promising. It's just that the original was a masterclass on powerful storytelling, stunning visuals, awe-inspiring animation, and exemplary voice acting.
Dragon training. You start in the morning.
Oh man, I should have gone first. 'Cause I was thinking, we have a surplus of dragon fighting Vikings, but do we have enough bread-making Vikings or small home repair Vikings?
You'll need this.
There's so much life in the trilogy, but especially in the introductory movie, as we're brought into the world and get to know the characters.
I'm through with the lies. I've been making outfits. So, you got me. It's time everyone knew. Drag me back, go ahead. Here we go. Ow! Why would you do that?
While it helps that original co-director Dean DeBlois is at the helm of the remake, we still have doubts about the film's ability to replicate the same magic through live action. From trailers, it seems to be a nearly shot-for-shot remake. And so soon after the animated trilogy's release, we think a remake could have benefited from a little or a lot of breathing room.
That's my fault. Yeah, I'm on it.
Number 9. Moana.
We are so excited and happy to announce that a live-action reimagining of Moana is in the works.
This is another case of why. Even the animated sequel was met with head tilts and furrowed brows, but a live-action reimagining has us straight up puzzled. 2016's Moana was well received by audiences and critics alike.
See her glide with the night in the sea. She calls me. And yes, I know that I can't go.
It's a moving story with important themes and stellar music, not to mention a worthwhile tribute to Polynesian culture. But a lot of its charm stems from its animation. There are Maui's dancing tattoos, the way the sea moves to express itself, Tamatoa the giant crab.
Are you just trying to get me to talk about myself? Because if you are, I will gladly do so.
It'll likely be difficult to capture the essence of it all without the boundaries that animation can push, which is probably why there wasn't really a lot of demand for a live-action retelling.
Are you afraid of it?
No, I'm not afraid.
Number 8. Aladdin.
Every day I just think things will be different, but it never seems to change.
1992's Aladdin is a childhood movie treasured by so many.
Thank you, kind sir. I'm so glad you found her. I've been looking all over for you.
What are you doing?
Just play along.
It's one tons of us watched on repeat growing up, and we fell a little more in love with it every time. There's something so real about the characters, most notably Aladdin. His personality is made apparent within minutes of knowing him, and it's all thanks to the phenomenal animation and voice work.
But Genie, she's smart and fun and pretty. Beautiful. She's got these eyes that and this hair, wow. And her smile,
Scott Wanger brought so much warmth and endearingness to his character, and the animation team absolutely understood the assignment. Between the fantastical elements like magic carpet rides and the song that won Disney countless awards, Aladdin is up there with the untouchables.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
Which is why it's so surprising that Disney touched it. Number 7. Lilo and Stitch.
that's a dog.
Yeah.
Rough.
Another nostalgic classic, Lilo and Stitch is a comfort film for so many. There's something really warm about the vibe of the setting and the way it was crafted.
Want to listen to the king? You look like an Elvis fan.
Oftentimes, live-action versions lose that special something, so it's unsurprising that there weren't any rallies for a retelling of this beloved story. Plus, Lilo and Stitch are both two very fleshed-out, distinct characters.
You promise not to fight anymore. I promise not to yell at you, except on special occasions.
Tuesdays and bank holidays would be good.
It would be challenging for any actor Lilo's age to capture her essence. And as for Stitch, why bother with live action if it requires so much CGI?
Maybe send me an angel. The nicest angel you have.
As we'll see in many entries on this list, that's quite a frequent theme with remakes. Number 6, Dumbo. Directed by Tim Burton? Good. An expansion on the original storyline? Also good. A remake that relies heavily on CGI? Less good. One can do a lot with the original source material, seeing as it was put out so long ago. It really wouldn't have been a bad idea to craft a new iteration of the story, to give it a general facelift or tell the narrative from a different angle. Dumbo in a Tim Burton-style animation could have been a huge opportunity to put out something innovative, a stylistically distinct take on a classic. No one really asked for it, but if we're going to get it, it didn't seem like the worst idea. Unfortunately, in execution, we lost the original's emotional charm and traded it for a plot that felt overstuffed and deviated substantially from its main character. Number 5, Lady and the Tramp.
Let me guess. Left in a box by the side of the road? You know what? I've heard it before, so beat it. You gotta earn your lunch.
This wasn't necessarily a bad adaptation. They used real dogs, which was a welcome alternative to the fully CGI route they could have taken. But there just wasn't a lot of buzz for it.
Hey! I own this alley.
Oh, hi. At least you don't live here.
I also live here.
This was a streaming exclusive release, meaning it never made it to theaters, and Disney didn't do a ton to promote it.
Joe, Butch says he wants 2 spaghetti special. And heavy on the meatballs.
There's also the fact that while Lady and the Tramp is a classic Disney staple, it doesn't have quite the same fan base as other adored childhood favorites, so no one was really eagerly waiting around for this one. Number 4, Pinocchio. Pinocchio was dark and problematic enough that they would have probably been better to just leave well enough alone. The whole puppet thing doesn't really translate well to live action either.
When do I become a real live living boy? Because it sounds like that's what will make my father happy.
This is another movie that suffered from being a Disney Plus exclusive with an underwhelming amount of hype. To make matters worse, the retelling lost its magic of the original and resorted to tired, formulaic beats, even with its new elements and changes. What resulted was an ultimately forgettable adaptation no one was really looking forward to in the first place. Even Tom Hanks and Cynthia Erivo couldn't save it.
I see a lost soul, an insect of no fixed address, an aimless vagabond hopping from hearth to hearth, with no direction, no job, no prospects, and no purpose in life.
Now look here, just because a fella sneaks into somebody's house to warm his backside, and sure, he might have gotten kicked out of a place.
Number 3, The Lion King. A shot-for-shot remake without a lick of what made the original so adored? Of course audiences weren't really gunning for an entirely photorealistic CGI version of The Lion King, but its release still gained a good amount of traction. It benefited mostly from hitting theaters at a time when audiences weren't quite so disillusioned with retellings just yet.
What a wonderful phrase, Hakuna Matata, ain't no passing craze.
Ultimately, though, the adaptation left something to be desired. It was dull in color, emotion, and innovation. and deemed a less expressive, weaker copy of the 1994 original. Even less needed was the 2024 sequel Mufasa: The Lion King. Number 2, Snow White.
He was so romantic, I could not resist.
Forget remakes no one asked for. This is one people begged the company not to make. For one, it's widely believed that Walt Disney himself would have opposed it. He considered Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs a standalone and a timeless masterpiece. In fact, he even canceled a sequel before it could enter production, ultimately maintaining that it was a perfectly complete story.
Here it is. The victim of the sleeping death can be revived only by love's first kiss. Love's first kiss. No fear of that.
If that wasn't enough of a reason to hold back, even before Snow White's release, the remake faced widespread criticism for a variety of reasons. From casting choices to personality changes, fans deemed this movie a mutilation of Walt's original work before it was ever even released.
What did you think I was?
Nothing goes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
And most importantly, Winnie the Pooh.
We've been going on about a lack of originality in these live-action remakes, but this is an adaptation that might actually have the opposite problem.
Oh, dear. What could be wrong? We're trying to be different.
Not working too well.
It's safe to say nobody predicted this kind of reimagining would ever make it to the big screen. Directed and written by Reese Frake Waterfield, it's the first film to explore a horror version of the classic characters, following a surge of interest in dark adaptations of familiar childhood stories. While the idea is a bizarre and unconventional take, the response was better than you might have expected.
Then winter arrived. The nights were deathly cold, the land barren and completely devoid of food.
Some did feel it was too over the top, but Blood and Honey was also praised for its novelty in certain sectors and quickly amassed a cult following. Which live-action remake are you upset about? Rant about it in the comments.
I'm Hua Jun, soldier in the Emperor's Imperial Army.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.